So it's story time since I haven't done one in a while. So since yesterday afternoon around like 2 p.m. I started having really bad so yeah, I started having really bad chest pain and I just tried to ignore it. I was just like maybe it's nothing, whatever. So I just went to sleep and tried to sleep it off. Went to sleep, still hurting. Woke up, still hurting. Went to work, still hurting. So I had the nurse who was on duty check my blood pressure, and so she took it. And I told her what was wrong with me, and she was like, chest pain, heart pain, that's nothing to play with. Like, you should have went into the emergency room. Like, that shit is serious. I was like, yeah, I know, but I just don't like hospitals. And she was like, well, when it comes to your health, you're gonna have to get over that phobia that you have of hospitals. And I was like, I know, whatever. She was like, well, if it gets any worse, you can leave, don't worry about it, like, we can hold it down. And I was like, alright, cool. So I made it through the night. I was still hurting, and so when I got off of work, I went to my mom's house, and she came out of her room and she was like, what's wrong with you? And so I told her what was going on, and she was like, maybe you need to quit taking that testosterone. So I'm just sitting here like, why is it every time that something's wrong with me, you automatically think it's because I take testosterone? I said, that has nothing to do with testosterone. I was like, Mom, I have chest pain. And she was like, you need to call your doctor and see if he can get you in this morning. And I was like, okay, well, they're just gonna tell me to go to the emergency room. And she was like, so I'm like, whatever, like, I'm gonna just go home, I'm gonna take some leave and just try to sleep it off. And then she texted me, she was like, you need to go to the emergency room. And I was like, I thought you just said that I need to go and see my doctor. And she was like, when it comes to your health, that's something serious, like, you don't play with your heart. And I was just like, alright. So I called my doctor. What did they tell me to do? Go to the emergency room. So I sat there for a little bit and I was like, hell, I already know how this is gonna go. So I went. Walk into the emergency room, started filling out the paperwork. The lady asked me for my ID, so I handed her my ID. Then she's like, have you ever been here before? And I was like, not to my knowledge. So then she asked me for my social, and I told her, and then she said my birth name, so I guess I had been there, but I don't remember it. And she was like, are you... So I didn't really know how to like answer that, so I kind of just like sat there for a second and I was like, that's my birth name, but the name on my social and my ID is the same. So she still didn't get it, and so I'm just like, okay, I'm transgender. And she was like, okay, well, it looked like somebody was coming in here trying to use your insurance. I'm just like, nope, I'm me. That was my birth name, and this is my name now, so nobody's trying to steal my identity or nothing like that. So then she was like, okay, well, have you had any surgeries? And so I answered the question, and then she goes and she's like, I have a lot of trans friends. And I'm just like, okay, fast forward past the bullshit. So they get me back there, and the lady like hooks me up to this machine. I was like, I just want to let you know, make you aware that I am transgender. And she was like, okay, take your shirt off. And I'm just like, so me sitting in a little chair. Alright, you asked for it, so I'm gonna take my shirt off. So I was just like, take my shirt off. And she was real cool about it, hooked me up to the machine. She was like, well, I can't really read the EKG, so we're gonna take you back here and hook you up to an IV. And I was like, the fuck? An IV? I'm fine. Like, I'm good. I'll leave. She was like, no, it's okay. Come on, you'll be fine. Just come back here. And I was like, no, sis. Like, seriously, like, I'm fine. Like, I can leave right now. So I'm just like, fine. Walk in the room, she tells me to take my shirt off again. I'm just like, okay. And then she asks me to put on this little nightgown thing. And then the doctor comes in. She was like, are you Darian? I was like, present. And then she was like, okay, so what's going on with you? And I was like, well, I've been having chest pain since 2 yesterday. Fast forward again through all those questions. So she takes the nightgown off, and I'm just like... So she's listening to me as I'm breathing, and then she's like, okay, well, we're gonna do some x-rays. Then she walks out of the room. 2 seconds later, she comes back. She was like, so I just noticed that you're transgender, and please don't get offended by me asking you this, but I take it that you haven't had any surgery, so is there any chance? She was like, is there any chance that you might be pregnant, because we have to do x-rays and that wouldn't be good for the baby? And I was like, me pregnant? No! I like the kitty cat, so nope, there's no chance that I might be pregnant. And so she's like, okay, well, I just have to ask to make sure you and the baby are safe. Then I was like, wait, me and what baby? Because I'm not pregnant. Okay, can we just go to get my x-rays done so I can get up out of here? Because y'all doing too much. So I'm sitting on the bed. Then this nurse comes in and she rolls up with a wheelchair. And I was like, what are you doing with that? She was like, you have to get in this. And I was like, no. She was like, yes, you have to get in it, because if you were to pass out, I could get in trouble for it. And so I'm just like, okay. So I get in the wheelchair. She wheels me to the room, takes the x-rays. I go back to the other room. This other nurse comes in, asks me all these questions. Then the doctor comes back in and she's like, you're fine. So I'm just like, okay, I'm fine. Can you tell me, what's going on? Because I really do have some pain in my chest. And she was like, you have angina. So I'm just like, okay, angina, like, can I get a definition, please? And she was like, well, chest pain. You just have pain in your chest. She's like, I'm gonna prescribe you such and such, and you'll be off of work for 2 days, but you should be good. And then I want you to follow up with your doctor this week and let me know. So basically, how I took it, I could have took some Aleve and been fine. Like, I don't know how much this is gonna cost me, but yeah. So shout out to everybody who told me to go to the ER, because chest pain and heart pain is nothing to play with. I'm fine.